in that projection. And so the beauty of that is I can reclaim my power instead of saying that somebody else caused me harm or caused me to feel this way. When I actually say I'm causing that in myself, there's a part of me that is wounded that this other person is bringing to light so that I have the opportunity to meet it and embrace it and love it. Well, now I reclaim my power because I can't make someone else change. And I can't maybe, I always like to say, or and I think Byron says this a lot, whose business are you in? Are you in your business? Are you in another business? Or are you in God's business? And God, she likes to put in the reference of reality, what the reality of it, right? So if I'm like sitting here going, man, I hope it doesn't rain. I don't want it to rain. Okay, well, I can't control whether it rains or not. Like, so I'm in God's business. That's not helping me. If I'm like, oh, I really want you to be happy. I really want you to be happy. Well, now I'm in someone else's business. And so if I'm living life in a way where I'm literally in the mental life of someone else, well, then who's actually giving energy to my life? And so it's taking that energy back and actually focusing it on me so that I can reclaim that power, so that I can do something about it because I can't change that other person and I can't change, God's perspective. So I'm gonna kind of leave it that I have been regularly. Okay, so we're gonna play with this E, and I really invite you when you're in this space, there's gonna be some things that are gonna come up that are probably gonna feel charged. And as you go through that process and let me know as well, we can walk through it and we can play with it. And if we want to do some on-spot coaching at the end, I'm super happy to do so because there's so much in the ego will really double down on the desire to say that it's someone else. And your reality of that is true. I'm not taking away from that reality. The piece that's important is if we continue to live in that story, if we buy into that reality, if we're attached to it, then it prevents us from actually removing the energy. Like we give so much energy, so much weight, so much heaviness that causes pain, right? The knowing of someone else judging me causes pain, right? And I can accept that. Like I can, what happens if I say, okay, this person is judging me? I can accept that. Also, am I judging myself? Or where am I judging myself? And so we're playing in this world of kind of constantly coming back home without, at least as we do this process, and I really invite this because of that. When we see whatever comes up or stirs within us, see it as a witness. Don't judge it, no shame. It gets to be fully present and alive in this space. And if at any point anybody feels really charged emotionally, just let me know and we can go through the process. I'm happy to shift and do a little spot coaching too. The goal here is to really kind of open our imagination to these beliefs and also like don't trust me at all. Like don't believe anything I say. Like listen to yourself. You are the teacher. You're not finding someone else outside of yourself as the teacher. You are the teacher. So really, I do invite you to be with the work and just at least in the practice of it, even if there's parts of you that want to resist, because there will be moments, especially if you're feeling that strongly, that the world is judging you, right? And in that moment, I really just invite you to come back to your breath. We'll do the meditation. So come back into your body and really holding space for whatever could be and just playing there. So we'll get into the work and then I can share some other kind of principles that I think are important as you continue your own journey with this work, potentially if it feels in resonance. And we'll start from there. Does anybody, before we get into this, have any questions or comments that you would love to share? Okay, beautiful. Oh, let me turn off my volume so it doesn't come through. Cool. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and start by getting in a little bit of a meditation. So it feels comfortable for everybody. Just allowing yourself to close your eyes and start to become aware of your breath. Feel the seat beneath you. Allow your spine to lengthen just enough to feel awake. And soften everything inside. Soften your shoulders, relax them down your side, relax your jaw, let your hips kind of rest into place, just fully coming present to this moment. Continue to focus on your breath and drop your breath lower into your body, bringing it down to your root chakra in this slow, steadied and unhurried space. With every inhale, feel your system expanding. And with every exhale, feel your body melting deeper and deeper into the earth beneath you. Let your breath be the reminder that you are safe in your body right now, safe to land and safe to feel. Now I invite you to bring your awareness to the base of your spine. Imagine roots gently extending from your body down into the ground, spreading, anchoring, and stabilizing you. Feel yourself held, supported, belonging. Your body knows how to root, so simply allow it to do so. You don't have to force it, just be with it. Invitation, if it feels called, to place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Feel the warmth of your own touch. Take a slow inhale, holding at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale longer than your inhale. Let's take that 2 more times, breathing all the way in, filling your lungs, pushing down on your diaphragm, holding at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1, and exhale. One more time, biggest breath today. Holding at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1, and audible out if that feels good. Now, from this grounded place, I invite you to gently bring to mind a moment with someone in your life, a moment that still carries a charge, not overwhelming, something that's between a 6 out of 10, something that still tugs at you, tugs at your heart, a moment where you may have felt unseen, misunderstood, dismissed, or even disappointed. Choose a moment that feels workable, a moment your body can safely be with. And as you bring yourself there, if nothing specific comes up, I invite you to allow your mind to land on someone you still don't feel fully at ease with. Someone you may have not forgiven yet, fully. There is no right or wrong here, just taking the moment to allow whatever to arise. Again, without judgment, just witnessing it and witnessing what's coming up into your body as you witness it. So as you hold this moment in your awareness, begin to gently notice the details that arise. Where were you? What was the quality of light in the room or the environment? What was the temperature or the atmosphere? What was their posture? What is your posture? What tone do you remember from that moment? The tone in your voice and the tone in theirs. Maybe your voice wasn't even being spoken. What was the tone that was in your mind? And as you remember, stay rooted in your body. Feel your feet. Feel your breath. Feel the support beneath you. You are safe here, just observing the memory, not reliving it. Now I invite you to notice what begins to arise in your body as you recall this moment. Maybe there is a shift in contraction or tightness somewhere. Maybe heaviness, a sense of warmth, closing, or even numbness. Whatever is here is fully welcome. There is no need to push anything away or make anything happen. Just notice. And if your body needs more grounding at this moment, I invite you to take a slow breath in, feeling your seat again, feeling your roots beneath you extending into the earth, reminding you that you're grounded, and just feeling your feet once more. And from this grounded witness space, feel into what you are feeling in the moment. What is the emotion underneath the reaction? What was longing beneath the emotion? What do you wish could have been seen, heard, understood, honored? What did you need to feel safe, loved, or responded to in that moment? Invitation to not overanalyze, just allow whatever is arising first to come through. Just feel the essence of the need inside of you. And allow that younger part of you, the one who lived the experience, to be acknowledged, to be heard, and to be met with compassion. Again, not fixing anything, just noticing what is true for you. And now gently imagine what the moment would have felt like if you never needed to be honored, if your voice had been heard, if your heart had been held with care, if the interaction had unfolded in a way that felt supportive for you. Feel this possibility, not as a rewrite of the past, rather as an honoring of the truth of what you longed for. And now taking a moment with one breath, breathing all the way in and letting your body feel the difference between these two spaces. The what happened and the space where you honor what you longed for. As we continue this, taking one more slow inhale all the way in, filling your lungs, and exhaling long, audible if that feels good. Once more, I invite you to feel your roots beneath you. Feel the support behind you and feel the breath within you. And when you're ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, slowly blinking into this space and time and coming back to this now reality. Take a moment to stretch, move your body if that feels good. All right. Suggestions on volume. I have mine up to 100 and can barely hear me. How is my volume with everyone else? Was everyone else? Okay. I don't know if on my end, let me just take a look. Oh, I'm better. Okay, great, 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 great. Maybe because I was in meditation voice. My apologies, E. Let me just make sure, were you able to kind of follow some of the pieces as far as what was coming through? And just let me know what you.
Yeah, I got the frustration part in dealing with the thing that was hard, but then I couldn't hear you past that, so I'm not really sure what we were supposed to do after we got into
No
that
worries.
frustrated part.
Yeah. Okay. Well, first, actually, just because you're presenting the frustration, I'm just gonna have us all as a collective just notice where the frustration is in your body, and for everyone else, just notice in your body where everything came up. Take a deep breath into that space and exhale. Once again, sending breath to that frustration or whatever emotion arose for all of you, letting it know that it is welcome and safe to be here. And one more deep breath in and out. Good. All right. And so E, I'm gonna ask questions. So don't worry if you didn't hear. It was kind of allowing for the mind to be out of the way and just for what wanted to arise. So invitation, if the mind feels like it's very loud as we go through these questions, just invitation to take a breath and really know that this is, again, your story that's coming through. And so, how can we get really curious? Just being curious without having any judgment or any, like when the emotion comes through, it's again welcoming it. We want to presence it. We want to let it know that it doesn't have to change or be something other than what it is. And at the same time, we're just getting really curious, like, what if that wasn't the case? Or how can I look at this differently? And for now, though, we're going to build the ego up. So it's going to love this first part. So we'll let it kind of play in this world. Okay, so coming back and just allowing you all, let me also pause. Does everybody have a piece of paper and pen just to kind of jot? Good, 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 good. And take your time, Karen. No worries. You ain't got to run. I'll pause. Yeah, we're good. Hmm. Okay, and so as Karen's getting hers, and then E, I assume that you also have it, so I'll just take that. Okay, so this first question, in this situation, who is the person, so identification of the person, um, that was creating or kind of being the mirror to bring up the emotion inside of you, and why? And so the stem we're going to use is I am emotion with blank name because, and I can write that in the chat. I am emotion that arose with name of the person because just play with that. And when everybody's good, just I'll take that as a knowing because your eyes will be on me. So yes, Karen.
Can you give an example? Like,
Yeah, of course. So if I like I am sad because my ex-partner yelled at me. I am sad because my ex-partner yelled at me and it made me feel small. Like you can play with the because later. We'll get more of kind of the more picture to the because, but it's just I am this emotion because this person, whatever happened, what was the experience? What did that person do? Does that make sense, Karen? Did that support? Okay, good. Hmm.
Are we supposed to be going with definitives or theoreticals?
So I think that the best way to answer that is like all stories, the moment we get stuck to the story, we've gone against like we argue with reality, right? So like it's this is what happened, this is, it isn't is. And we are going to challenge that. Like we are going to challenge. In this current moment, go with what is. Like what is the is. This person caused me this feeling and it was because of this. Like I really want to invite like you can allow your judgmental part even though a lot of us are probably not that and in the same time like let that part be. Like let that part have a voice because that's the point is giving it the voice and then we're going to flip some of these. Does that make sense, E?
Yeah, I guess I'll just kind of see where it goes.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. And there's more questions, so it should land in. And if by the end of the questions you still feel like there's parts that are not coming through, we can play with that. Okay, how's everybody doing? Does it feel good to migrate? Okay. So taking that person, taking that understanding, what would you have wanted? What would you have wanted as far as change? What did you want him or her to do, to act differently, to change? What would have created a different situation? What was the want for yourself in that situation? So I want whoever the name is to blank. Okay, beautiful. Okay, and so looks like Christine's just finishing up for a second. Take your time, no worries. Beautiful. All right, so this next one is advice. So what kind of advice would you have given this person? What did you think they should have done or shouldn't do? And you can make a list there. Let yourself play all out. So they, if I'm saying, I felt sadness because my ex-partner yelled at me. Well, what would he shouldn't yell at me, or he should be kinder when he has something to say that makes me feel criticized, or I felt criticized. So like it would be good for him to speak more softly when he's wanting me to adjust something. Like you can play with what are the shoulds and shouldn'ts of your mind? What advice would you tell this person?
Shannon, I missed that. Is that advice for the other person or advice for us in the situation?
Voice advice for the other person. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And thank you, Scott, for asking. Yeah. All right. Wrapping up this kind of space whenever you're ready. Good. Okay. And so, in order to be happy in this situation, what do you need him or her to think, feel, or do? So that kind of plays into the advice, but this is more like your needs now. So, in order for you to feel happy in this situation, what do you need him or her to think, feel, or do? How do you want their behavior to be? And you can use the stem, I need person's name to blank.
And if there is nothing they can do, it just is what it is, and you just have to like that's one of the things you're working on anyway is acceptance, then what?
Yeah, so we're in the space where I want to invite you to really think about what you needed. And I love it because you're already steps ahead than E, right? Because if it's the acceptance, then you're already steps ahead. So in this moment, it's more like, okay, if I can be real honest, and maybe that's dropping into that inner child aspect of you. And that part of you that witnessed this experience, like, what would you have needed to feel safe? What, like, it's not like there's a level of the acceptance, and we're going to get into that. So, like I said, I love that you're already there. Beautiful. And before we're in that acceptance work, what is it that you needed? How, if you were to go back and reparent that inner child aspect of you, whatever part of you is showing up, what would they have needed?
I just find it a little ironic because I think what I would have needed in my particular instance
Hmm.
is to have had a pre-existing an ability to have a pre-existing recognition that humans are going to be messy and make huge mistakes. And this
Hmm.
mistake was made and it can't be taken back. And so it damaged the relationship irreparably. And nothing can
Hmm.
be done. I think it really was more, I think it was more me that I was hurt by the fact that this person broke my trust.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And I think actually just hearing you, you're already deeper into the work than where we've gotten. So actually, I feel that it's really beautiful that you've been able to notice what it was as far as your part in that, and that through this relationship being what sounds like dissolved, um, there's a part of you that gets to be in your now awareness of what that looks like. Like, how did that dissolving, what did that teach you? And I guess what I'm hearing, if I'm catching you right, and let me know if that feels in resonance, was that through you seeing or understanding this breakup, there was this level of, oh, people are messy. And that's going to happen. And there's going to be things that happen that are reflections of me, but also I can honor that people are going to be messy and there's really nothing that can be done in that, right? So I mean, you're in steps
Yeah,
ahead of
no,
us.
I'm
So
not
that's
there.
beautiful.
I'm accepting people are messy, but I'm not honoring it at all. I'm
Okay,
struggling with it
okay,
in a
okay.
big, big way.
Okay, well then good. Then we'll still, I'm not saying good to that, but like good that we can still play with this understanding. So I love that. So then I can see where you are in your sequence. So it's okay, I've seen that people are messy. I accept that. And now I'm playing with how to honor it. Is that fair for me to hear what's coming through for you?
I think that's very accurate, yes.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, so let's play with that. And I guess let me just make sure because I know we've been talking. When you kind of play with this now, so I understand that you see that people are messy, and so there's an honoring. So let's go back to that part of you, that inner part, and let me actually ask this first. When you have that experience, were you able to identify the first moment you ever felt that sensation? I don't know. Well, frustration was the word you used earlier. So maybe it was frustration or whatever the emotional signature that's coming up through your body. Going back to when did I first feel this sensation? So not so much the story, but the sensation. And for you, E, what I'm curious about, and everybody, if you want to kind of do this practice, we can, this is kind of going a little off the work, and I'm curious what will come through for you. Um, this process of when you go back, okay, what's the earliest time point I can remember having this feeling? What age are you? What are you seeing? What are you experiencing? And really, like if we're going to go full in, which I don't think we have the full time to go full in, what I will just kind of invite to play in is what was that part seeing? What was the interaction? Who were you interacting with at that time? Taking in all your sensory perception. What are you seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting, touching? And through that, with this age, this part, let it be raw. What would it say to this person or situation, whatever it's experiencing? Because now we're touching on this younger version of ourselves, right? And so when we touch on this younger version of ourselves, then it's okay, I'm hearing what it's saying. So I'm scared, I was mad, I'm angry, I'm whatever that means. I didn't know that the world could be so hurtful. I feel hurt. You're hurting me, whatever that even looks like, right? And then it's okay, what did that part, that version, that age in that moment need to hear? And so you can take that, even though that's a different encapsulation of your now experience that you might be writing about, and you can weave that in because even if you can't see like what you need, it's done as I'm hearing. There's this opportunity though to go back to a younger version of you that does want to claim what they needed. And so that there's way more to that deep dive. Um, and we can maybe do a follow-up for that because that's going into like some deep inner child work and reparenting and just an opportunity to kind of play in that perspective if that feels like that's supportive to this kind of what would you need to be happy in this situation? What would you have needed him or her to think, say, feel, or do? And I'll give us one more minute just to kind of play there. No. Oh, hi, buddy. Okay. Everybody feel at least kind of good? Okay. Okay, so now it's what do you think of him or her in this situation? So make a list. I think that this person is judgmental. I think this person is arrogant. I think this person is selfish. I think this person is XYZ. Um, yeah, let it be loud. Let it be petty and judgmental. Like don't overthink. It doesn't mean you are that, right? This is just a moment that you're giving this part full voice, full range. Okay, taking a few more seconds just to finish your thought. Okay. Okay. And so the last question before we start to get into the deeper work is, what about this person or situation do you never want to experience again? So I don't ever want, and then just let that fill its space. I don't ever want blank. Just taking one more minute to wrap up whatever's on your mind. And just so you all know, so doing this part, so she has two different places and spaces. So she has the main questions, which are, we're going to get into the turnarounds, the four questions. And then this is kind of building it up. This is helping us to see, like, what are all the stories? Because, oh my gosh, in a day, we could have hundreds of stories that come to our mind, right? And so out of this whole page, the idea is picking one statement or thing that felt very alive in you and having it be a belief that deals with you and another person. So I could use, again, if I'm using kind of what we used as an example, pardon, my ex causes me to feel small. My ex causes me to feel small, okay? Or so and so lied to me, or whatever the belief is that you're kind of playing with. I know we went into the depths of it, and my invitation is, use something simple for this now so you can kind of see the process of it. And then as you get the understanding of the process, you now have a sheet of all these different stories. So you get to play with those different stories, and you can always come back to this work and play with it from different angles all the time. And so once everybody has that limited belief or that story that we can inquire around, I'll just take it as that everyone will have it once I see your beautiful eyes. And if anybody's having a hard time kind of finding that stem, feel free to voice, and I can support.
Can you just state the goal one more time?
Yeah, so the goal is kind of, now that you have this list of different stories, right? I want you to take one of those beliefs, that story, and have it be where there's someone else interacting with you. So you're feeling some way and it's because of this person, or it's whatever that means. And we can play if that makes sense, E.
Y- are you saying have put a different person in the same context of the problem that we had?
No, so you can use the exact same person that you've been cultivating this whole time. And it would be like, I mean, I don't know the story, right? So like, say if I'm saying a friendship was ruined, I'm just taking, this is like my own experience of a friendship being ruined, right? So and so lied to me. Like, that can be a belief. So and so lied to me, or so and so didn't show up for me, or so and so made me feel small, or I don't, again, like I don't know what your story is, and I'm happy if you want to, if you feel safe enough to share, I can support you in kind of playing in that. It's just really taking all that you've written, because now you've really showed like what is the advice they should have. You can even use should, shouldn'ts. Those are easy ones too. They should have acted like this, or they shouldn't have done X, right? You can play with whatever that looks like. It's just that you want to have basically someone else's name in relationship to you in the sentence itself as your belief.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really able to participate in this because in my situation, I can tell you exactly what happened is that the person disrespected me, yelled at me because she later told me that I brought up all these feelings of, how her ex-husband, how she felt with around her ex-husband in similar situations.
Mm,
And so we talked about it. We, it was discussed, but I'm not able to resolve the hurt around it. So it's not about like you can't change something that happened, and I can't change how I feel. And I know I
mhm.
don't want to be treated like that again. And I know she's honest about that she can't guarantee that's not going to happen again.
Yeah,
And she's got some other issues around substance abuse that make things difficult. But to me, it's kind of unrealistic because the fact of the matter is it happened. It's not
mhm.
going away. It can't be fixed. And so I just sort of have to like deal with the sadness around it. Like I can't come up with any way to say, well, this shouldn't have happened because
Yeah,
she's human and she had these hurt feelings that had nothing to do with me, but
yeah,
yet they came out at me, and so
yeah,
now I have these hurt feelings.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm hearing that, E. So I hear the appreciation of like, I'm accepting this experience. And what I would invite then is, because you said disrespected, which I think is a perfect way to still play in this world, and you can use that person's name, so and so disrespected me, because that's out of what I'm hearing. And you can, and if that doesn't feel in resonance, you can change disrespect to maybe something that feels a little bit more in alignment with this story.
No, that's exactly what I wrote down. But I,
Beautiful.
but I
Okay.
like there's no way. That's what I'm saying. Humans are messy. There was after hearing where this came from, there was no way that could have. I don't see there was any way that could have not happened. I think it was. I think sometimes friendships sort of come to this position, and it was never meant to be that way, but that's where it went.
Yeah, yeah, understandable. E. So I guess what I'm basically inviting you into is, I hear that it is what it is. And I agree with that actually. Because again, then in that way, it shows me as you're not in others' business and you're not in God's business, right? It is what it is. You're accepting that it is. You're not arguing against the reality of it. It did happen. And we're going to change this. So we're going to do some turnarounds with that statement, that I'm curious, just curious, what will come through from that. Because as you're saying, like there's a part of you, or at least I'm hearing that you're saying there's a part of you that like, I don't I don't know how to honor this. Like I can accept it, but I can't honor it, right? And in this way of moving through these turnarounds, I'm curious what will come through, and maybe if there will be a perspective shift in your own body that could allow for that catalytic effect. And maybe not. We're playing with the world right now. Again,
Fair
like I
enough.
said, don't take my word for it. See what happens, right? And that can be a perfect though. Like what you're saying is, so and so disappointed me. You can, that's a good turnaround. That's a good way to stem. Okay. Everybody else feels good? We're good? Okay. Okay, so the first question is simple. So, is it true? Is this statement true? When you look at this statement, yes or no, is it true? And so that should be fairly quick. Good. And the second piece, yeah, go ahead, Karen. Because, yeah, go ahead, please.
Well, now me going down this wild tangent about Rashomon, the Japanese movie and people's sense of what truth is and
Mhm,
how
mhm.
perspective can change what true is. And okay, sorry, maybe too much coffee.
No, you're doing, this is great. This is beautiful, Karen, because because I'm going to follow it up with, right? So, well, I won't explain yet. Let's just see what comes through. Okay. You're on point though, is my point. So, okay. Can you know without a shadow of a doubt that it's true? Can you know without a shadow of a doubt that what you just wrote is true? And if you're still getting a yes, let's chat because to Karen's point,
Definite yes.
okay, beautiful. So actually, this is really profound because of what you have shared already. So I'm gonna just use name because you don't have to share whose name it was. So name disrespected me. That is what we landed on, right? Is that fair? I just want to make sure.
That's what we landed on, but then your next step was, to come up with the next statement and so disappointed me. It wasn't my friend who disappointed me. It was me who disappointed me. It
Okay,
was my
good. So you already know it's a
expectation
no.
that this person was going to be solid all the time, and she wasn't capable of doing that because she's a human being. So yes, without a doubt, I'm the one who disappointed me. That is absolutely 100% true.
Yeah, beautiful. So you just showed yourself that it wasn't true though, because the thing is that this person disappointed me and you just named it, but as I sit with it, I disappointed me. So actually it is not true, right? It's not true that she disappointed you. You disappointed you.
Right, but
That's
when you made the statement, I changed it automatically to say, no, I'm the one who disappointed me. And so that statement, I disappointed me, is 100% true.
Oh, but so we're not using eyes though. That was the thing. So you're using the other person. So that's the point of this is to use the other person in this now moment. There's a different way to do these turnarounds with I statements, and I'll figure out how to send out things to you guys. I know if there's an email list, I can probably send it through that. Right now though, the easiest way is you're just learning the work is to actually use someone else's name because we're going to get to that. That is actually one of the turnarounds. So again, you're ahead of the game, which is beautiful. And now we're just playing in this world. But don't change it to you because in this now moment, it's still that person, just even though you know that that's not the case. So it's kind of interesting because in your case, it feels like you've done a lot of work around the acceptance piece, which is beautiful and profound. And now there's this shift of like, how can you honor it? Like, what does it mean to honor it? What does it mean to fully, and I don't know even where you stand on like the forgiveness piece of that puzzle.
Oh no, I mean I forgave her right away. I understood where it came from, but it was still really hurtful. It's the
Yeah.
hurt I can't get past.
Okay. So that I don't know if we'll go in, well, let's see. I want to make sure we get this turnarounds and then maybe we'll do a follow-up session where we can go into like the emotional space of it because this is more of like the mind. We're rewriting the mind. Okay, so coming back. So, all of you, at least on that second question, can you know without a shadow of doubt that it's true? Everybody has a no, at least. Yes, we're good. No, okay. Scott, oh, yes, okay. Okay, beautiful. So, coming back to that, when you believe that statement, so when you believe that statement, what happens or how do you behave? And what happens when you believe that thought, when you believe that stem, that story? How do you act? How do you behave? What emotions come up through you? How do you act to yourself, others, the person? Okay, wrapping that kind of thought up. And then as we play with these last, because I do want to get to the turnaround, so I know we only have an hour. So one of the things then, I want you now to bring yourself back to that time, back to that moment, whenever you felt that statement. And I want you to freeze the frame, pause it. And I want you to invite you to just take that belief away as if it never existed. And how would you be in this now frame if we were to push play again without that belief? How would you behave? What would you say? How would you interact? How would you carry yourself? If you never had the thought, how would you behave? What would you feel? An E, I guess an invitation there that keeps dropping in, so I'll just name it. It can be also like, what if you didn't experience disrespect? How would that have shifted the experience you were in that moment? You can just play with that in your own mind's eye or write that out. Okay, and just for the sense of time, since I want to be able to get to some turnarounds and any shares if that feels called. So we're going to take this statement now. And so E, just because I know your statement, it's, so someone disrespected me. Person disrespected me. Okay. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change it to the opposite. So and so respected me. Or in everyone else's case, take your belief, your statement, and flip it to the opposite. And once you have the opposite, and if anybody's having a challenge with figuring out what that opposite looks like, I invite you to find 2 to 3 examples of how that is true or even truer than the original.
Shannon, can you repeat that question, that prompt once more?
Yeah, of course. And thanks for asking, Christine. Yeah, so you're going to take the statement, the story, right? The belief, and then you're going to actually flip it to the opposite. So if we were using the example that, E shared, for instance, so and so disrespected me, then the opposite of that would be so and so respected me. So you can kind of play with what the opposite, and if you have to change words, like it doesn't have to be as clean as that. I don't know, like it could be like if it's like I don't ever want, it could be like I'm willing to try or I look forward to. Like it's just kind of flipping it to make it so that it's the opposite. Does that support you? Does that feel more clean?
Yeah, I got that. And then there was a follow-up where we then were to think about if
Oh,
it's
thank you.
true. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
part I was like, what?
Yeah. So this is where the mind starts to play. Yeah. So thank you for that, Christine. Yeah. So now we're going to take that statement and we're going to find at least 2 to 3 ways or truths how that example is actually true. So, and the idea is like, again, we're kind of expanding our mind to look at it from a different perspective and seeing, well, how is that true? How is it that this person didn't actually respected me? Where's there moments where this person respected me? Does that story have truth, right? Or whatever the truth is that you just created, the opposite of that. Where have you seen in your own life that it's true? Or how can you even, if that hasn't happened yet, how do you play with that being true? And we can play if you want to share what your stem is. I'm happy to play in that world if there's a little bit of a struggle there too.
I think for me, like again, sort of like with E, there's a degree of acceptance because right now, like that, my person is my father, um,
Mm-hmm.
and how has always and continues to make me feel invisible. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so there's other parts of my life, other people who I am like rewriting that narrative where I feel visible, I'm making myself visible.
Yes.
Um, but with my dad, again, there's that the acceptance where I don't even like at this point engage. It's like acceptance, like, all right, like you've got your perceptions, your biases.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go blue
Yeah.
in the face, trying to convince you otherwise.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, would the is the stem like my father makes me feel invisible, or what's your stem? Like, what did you use?
So sorry, it's sort of morphed, but
That's okay. Yeah.
I guess the original, I don't know.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
it's my, um, I guess at this stage of the process, my sentence is now like my dad sees me and accepts me for who I am, no matter what his perceptions are. My
Mm-hmm.
dad makes me feel visible.
My dad makes me feel visible. Okay, beautiful. So so the truth of the matter, well, let me make sure that you got to this. When you were saying, can this be true without a shadow of a doubt? Did you get to it and no?
I was yeah, I think so. Like that was still like for me like a hang up because like,
Sure.
oh,
Sure.
yeah. So there was struggle there, and then
Yeah.
we went on. I was like, okay, I'll go back to that later.
Well, let's play with that struggle because I think that there's something here, right? So if we're thinking about this, and this can be hard, right? Because obviously we experienced what we experienced. We want to, we're working through the acceptance in this state. And the truth of the matter is, if we're saying that my dad, wait, restate just the last, I want to make sure I say it in your words.
My dad makes me feel invisible.
Invisible. Okay. My dad makes me feel invisible. So when you're asking, is that true without a shadow of a doubt? One way we can start to play with this to support us in seeing how that could not be true, that may be a no, is because it's not that you're invisible to him, it's that he's invisible to himself.
Mm-hmm.
So when we understand that, when we can see it, because again, if we're all the projectors projecting into the world, your father is a projector projecting into the world his own wounds or things that have not been healed. And therefore, you feel invisible, and that's real because that's what you're experiencing, and we want to give validity to that experience. And there can be this point where we come kind of above from witness state because he is you and you are him, which we get into way meta 'cause I don't want to go into too much meta,
Yeah.
but like the idea of the truth, right, is that your dad doesn't actually exist. In your world, he exists because you create him, vice versa. And that's a lot of meta, but we won't, like I said, we won't go into the meta. What I will invite into is his wound is that he is invisible to himself. So it
Mm-hmm.
is without shadow of a doubt. It can be a no because you are only invisible because he is invisible to himself. That's like one way to kind of play. How does
Yeah,
that
I'm
feel?
following that. I'm
Okay.
following that. I'm just giving my brain, my neurons that moment
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I
We're
follow.
just
Yeah.
rewiring. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. So then playing with the truth of the matter of my dad, or I'm visible to my dad. I think you said I'm visible and seen by my dad, right?
Hmm.
And we can even play still again with that kind of metal meta. I mean, well, first let me ask, because I'm curious too. Again, like going really deep into your storyline with your father, was there ever a moment, ever, even if it was the smallest, that you felt seen by him? And if not, then we'll go into the meta. I'm just curious if we first play there first.
I would say those moments, there were moments, but surface level.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's play with the surface level, meaning like just you can like note, and you don't have to do this right now because I know we're at time. I don't know. I don't normally do these, so I don't know how long we have as an after. I'll let Amanda yell at me or kick me out, whatever that means.
We
But
can
as
go as long as we like, as long as
okay,
people want to stay on. So
okay,
no
okay, cool.
problem
So
shutting
yeah,
down.
please feel like you can do as you need. Um, so yeah, so okay. So we can play with those. And I like that you said surface level because when you're writing them out, it's really the point is to show your mind that if you've created the thought that my father treats me as if I'm invisible, right? Then you're going to look, everything is going to now be, oh, that's when he showed me I was invisible. That's another time that he showed me I was invisible. That's like you validate, the mind wants to validate the belief. So
Mhm.
what we're doing in this process is we're breaking that validation and we're actually seeing it from different perspectives. And in every single perspective, there should at least be where there's at least one to two or even three stories that are true to that narrative. And what we're doing then is we're showing the mind, instead of believing, instead of sending energy down the same neural circuitry that we've sent over and over and over again, that has been continuing to validate the story, that has then been continuing to create the reality we're living. Instead, we're saying, wait, oh my gosh, all of these perspectives are true. All of them. So if all of these perspectives are true, which perspective do I want to choose to be projecting into my reality? So that's like the long understanding of it.
I get it. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Does that help a little bit more with kind of
Yeah, yeah,
bringing
that
in great.
does.
Okay,
Mhm.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, of course, of course.
Is it relevant that no matter which way you look at it, it leads you to the same place?
It is relevant if you, I mean, first of all, because you're saying that it is relevant in and of itself, right? It is. We don't try to go against the statement of is. And the point is that our mind being locked in to one belief, it's like shadow work, right? So if I have a belief that I'm unconscious of, for you, like you've gained a lot. I mean, and also for this group, I mean, going to these retreats, you're gaining so much understanding and seeing different lenses coming off all the time. The point of the situation is to see, it's to train the mind to also validate these other things to be true, so that therefore it starts actually validating that people are respecting you, for instance. It starts seeing how people are respecting you, and even maybe how this person respected you even in different moments of the relationship, even though the last moment what I'm hearing was the disrespect that completely dissolves the relationship. So it's giving us, it's allowing, or it's inviting us to take back the power. And that is what we can do something with that. I can do something if I know that it's my response. If I understand, and you already understand this, like you said, I see that I played in this, like what role I played, the part of me that projected into this situation. And the moment that we can do that, okay, well, how do I want to go from here? What are the friends that I'm calling in? What are my non-negotiables? What did this opportunity, these different perspectives give me as a person so that I know how I want to cultivate relationships in the future? Am I going to choose to believe that people who I'm going to call in because I've done this work for myself are going to respect me? Or am I going to choose now, because you're conscious of it now, so that there's a consciousness that there is me seeing somebody else disrespected me. So do I want to continue to live in that belief? Or as I call in my new friends and I'm doing all this work on my own accord and really meeting these parts of myself, I'm choosing the narrative that my friend group is going to respect me, that they're always going to be honest, and that I will be able to receive them, knowing that it's never about me. It ain't personal.
Hmm.
Does that make a little more sense, E?
Yeah, I just have multiple things I'm struggling with. I think one of the things that I'm struggling with is that I recognize that she had her own issues and felt disrespected by me, and I question that I actually did anything that made her feel disrespected to have her turn on me. But what if
Mm,
I did? So I think that's that then I start thinking about what you're saying. I'm like, okay, what if I did do something that made her feel
mm,
disrespected?
mhm.
It still doesn't make her behavior okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and I see clearly. I mean, one of the reasons why it was so painful and it is such a struggle for me to accept this is that she has always been willing to listen to me express, my issues around other people being disrespectful towards me. And she's, for the most part, throughout the court, because we've been friends a long time, or we were friends a long time,
Mhm.
she was always very respectful. And
Yeah.
so it's hard for me to accept myself as saying, okay, well, how is it I can't get past the hurt of this one huge instance when she's been solid for me, all these years? But there
Mhm.
it is.
Mhm. 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 Well, and it's interesting to even play, again, the only person who's ever judging ourselves is ourselves. Like that is a reality. And so when we play in that reality, then even when you're playing with the disrespect piece of like, I don't feel like I disrespected her. And I'm also playing with the idea that maybe I did disrespect her. I'm not aware that I disrespected her, right? And that's literally what this
Mm.
kind of thing is all showing us right now, is in this room right now, I could feel frustration maybe, and I could be like, whoa, I was frustrated by someone in the room. And the truth is that that frustration is already in me. You didn't create the frustration already lives in me, and your mirror, you being who you are, has actually basically invited me to see it, to feel it. It's come back through, but it's because of something that happened to me in my childhood, in my understanding, that you're actually bringing back up. That's like the reason we become triggered or emotionally charged, because there's an aspect of us, like a wound that hasn't been healed, but we're not aware of it until something in the external world elicits the pain or the negative perceived emotion, that then is like this beautiful gateway to be like, oh, what are you here to show me? Like, what is it? What is the thing that I wasn't aware of? Because until there is pain or discomfort, why would we look there? Why would we look inside? There's no reason to. So it's like this gateway where we can play with another lens of like, who knows? Well, she's saying that, she told you her stories. Who knows? It's not that you disrespected her. It's that an aspect, the quality of you, whatever was happening, brought back up something in her own understanding that now she is in the process of feeling triggered by you. But it's not actually you. It's your presence, your experience, your understanding that now is calling her into her own mirror. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and she even said that. But like I said, here I am. I still
Mm.
sit with the struggle of the loss and the
Yeah.
hurt
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
And
sadness.
I think for you, and I mean, we can maybe do like a little one, since we can do this I'll finish the work at least, and then we can go from. Um, and what I'll just say is like, it sounds like you've played enough, or at least from my understanding, you've played enough with the acceptance of what was. And we love that because that's the point. Like, we don't want to argue reality. We don't want to live in shoulds or how it should be, or this person, this. Like, we want to be in our business, our own business, my business, and I don't want to be in anybody else's business because then I'm giving my energy to me. The other side of that, though, just to name it, because what I'm really hearing from this understanding of yours is emotions are interesting and like the body keeps the score. And so when we go through a process, the body will literally hold on to that. And so this is one method, obviously, of changing the reframe. So this starts in the neurocircuitry. So this practice is to change where we're sending energy. So we've created neural pathways, and when we continue to have the belief, we're going to send energy down that pathway. It is lit up. It has a full traffic mode, baby. But when we stop and we question and we look at all these turnarounds and see how they are also true, now the mind kind of goes, well, wait, but I thought that was the only truth. And so it starts sending energy down these other pathways. So we create new neural chemistry, new neural pathways, so that we no longer feed the same conditioned belief that actually isn't allowing us to survive. So that's what this process is. So I just want to name that. The additional process that you can go into is around your emotional frequency. Okay, so this brought up sadness. I feel grief. There's a part of me that's grieving right now, right? And so then, I don't know how much time we have. My point is, I think for you, where you are, it would be, okay, where in your body do you feel grief? Once you locate that, does it radiate? Does it have a shape? Does it have a color, a size? Like really give that feeling a, an understanding, like a physical, pardon, a physical understanding. What does it look like? Pardon. Ooh. What does it look like? Where is it moving to? Is it staying in the same space? Is it deep? Is it superficial? Like really get curious. And maybe because you've been with the story, instead of the story, let's remove the story completely. Then my curiosity comes, okay, so I feel it in my chest. It's like a ball. It's hard and it's covering like 2/3 of my chest. And it's blue, but gray and black. And I'm just, playing with you right now. And then it's like, okay, so just breathe into that. Breathe into that space. Breathe into that space where your body is sensing the emotion that you're experiencing. And as you breathe in, you welcome it. You let it know that it's safe to be here, that it doesn't have to change. And I know that might sound counterintuitive, so let me just play with that for a second. When you tell a part of you that wants to be witnessed that it doesn't have to change, it actually eases the intensity of the emotional sensation in your body. Because if you think of I like to think of my emotions as little kids. And so if all of my emotions are little kids, and say I don't feel grief very often, yet grief is wanting me to feel it. So it is literally tugging on my leggings, going, hey, are you going to feel me? Are you going to feel me? Are you going to feel me? And I keep going, nope, I don't want to feel you. Nope, I don't want to feel you. I don't want to feel it. Nope, 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 nope. Or I don't know how to feel you. I don't know. We've never talked. I don't know. I don't, ew, is that going to hurt? Like whatever it is that's preventing you from feeling this aspect of you that just wants to be loved and embraced and witnessed. And so in that understanding, then, when we simply breathe for at least 90 seconds, it's been actually proven, 90 seconds of breath to the space that we're feeling the contraction or the tension, and going there and welcoming it, telling it it doesn't have to change and that it gets to be here and that you're simply listening to it. As you continue to breathe for 90 seconds, I invite you then to check in. Before you started the breath, where were you at out of a 1 out of 10 of contraction? At the end of that 90 seconds, where are you at now? Maybe it went down to a 4. Great. Breathe again. Bringing it to this understanding is what's actually releasing it. So the body doesn't hold it anymore. And as you do that, and also there's these little tricks that I've learned throughout this process, it's also not doing it to get to go away. It's doing it because you want to be with it, because you love it, because it's a child that you're reclaiming, that is you, that wants to be heard and loved and seen. So it's not about accepting it to get it to go away, because it will actually go away by you accepting. But once you believe that I'm doing this in order for it to go away, you've already lost the thing that you're doing. You've lost the game, because the point is just to be with it, to witness it, to not be invisible, to allow for this part to be fully seen, loved, and validated. So I'll just leave it at that while we flip some other turnarounds, and I hope that was supportive.
What are the odds you have any suggestions? Oh,
Oh,
I think I cut myself
yeah,
off.
you did it.
What
No.
are the odds you have any suggested references?
Um, Yeah, I actually might be able to send you some things. And like maybe because you're stemming this up, I'm going to be doing a holiday kind of bringing yourself back into your body before seeing your family. So I'll send that link to Buona Vita, or I'll make sure like when you give me your information in the private, I'll make sure I send it to you directly.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
because then
Thanks.
we can, yeah, we'll go through this actual emotional piece because it is a little longer. And I mean, I don't want to keep you here for like a full another time, though. Obviously, this is like I love this. It's like it brings my heart so much joy. So like, please, yeah, let's sit together. And I can also send you some other things of just kind of, or even maybe I'll record a little thing and I can send it out to Buena Vita too. Okay. Um, okay, coming back in. Thank you for all the questions, everybody. Okay, so we've flipped it, right? So now we took the belief, we've done the opposite. Everybody feels at least pretty good with writing. You have a few statements that validate that. Good. Okay. So now we're going to take the turnaround. We're going to take the original statement, and instead we're going to do it to the other. So if it was so and so disrespected me, it's I disrespected so and so. And so now we're actually playing kind of with that world. So if my father caused me to feel invisible, I caused my father to feel invisible, or however that statement, Christine. I know I'm not hitting it perfectly, but I know you've got that. Good. Okay. And then yeah, again, I'm gonna give you just a little time to find a few statements. Find a few statements that make that true. Even if we got to go into the meta again, I'm here for you guys. So just let me know. And I hope that everything that I've shared at least is supporting you in this process. All right. Wrapping up in 1 minute, unless anybody has any questions on this one. Okay, good. Okay, and the last turnaround. Now we're going to do it to self. So if so-and-so disappointed me, that was the original statement, then I disappointed myself. Or however that flip, you're doing it to you. And find at least 2 to 3 statements how that is true. And good job, everyone. I know this can be really intense work, so I'm proud of you all for stepping into your edges and just meeting these different understandings, allowing your mind to become big with possibility and honoring the different sensations and emotions that are arising. They get to be here. And we'll do 1 more minute and then we'll close with some self-forgiveness just to alchemize what's coming through. All right, beautiful. So now kind of taking all these turnarounds, everything that just came to light, and the invitation is to send yourself some self-forgiveness. So you can write it down. Sometimes it's beautiful to, especially if there's one that really hits. I love to write it on my mirror and then say it until the charge starts to almost feel like it's just known, like it doesn't even register anymore. And so the way that I was always taught to do self-forgiveness is I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding, whatever that misunderstanding is. The truth is blank, and I'll type this into the chat. So I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding. The truth is. And Christine, I have one for you if you want a thread while you're playing, but I'll let you play first and then we can. And E, I think I have one actually that could be supportive for you too. So write your rights and I'll actually just let me type them or I'll write them too so I don't forget. Mm. How's everybody doing? Yeah. Did everybody come up with a few self-forgiveness that feel good in your heart? The-
I'm curious, like, I don't know how specific to go, or yeah, I'd be curious to hear what you came up with.
yeah. So when I was playing with it, it's I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding that my father thought that I was invisible, or that I felt that my father treated me like I was invisible. The truth is, my father wasn't able to see himself, and therefore there was the outward projection that created invisibility for me. The
Got it.
truth is that I felt that, and right now I'm learning to see myself in a new light, and I'm learning how to hold him in a different light. The truth is, like, it's just playing in that world. Does that make a little more
Got it.
sense? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that does. Because I
Mm.
took a more general approach. I didn't specify it to my dad, but in this case, that would be probably most helpful
Mm.
for this next
Yeah.
stage. Okay.
Yeah. And you can see, like, sometimes when I'm doing my own turnarounds, um, I'll like see where I wrote, the turnaround and like the examples, and I'll like get to see like, oh, whoa, there was that click. So I'll use that in my truth statements, and then that way I can dissolve the first forgiveness piece, which usually is a little beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, goody. Really good.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, of course, Christine. How are you doing, Scott? You doing okay?
Good. Yeah, I just was wondering if Christine wrote down all of what you said there for your reframe.
Yeah, I know I said that. Oh,
When
I
I
tried to go
finally,
slower. And you can
It's
make
like,
it,
oh, it's all really good. And it's like,
yeah, I wanted to be present and in the moment, so I didn't do any frantic scribbling, but I'm gonna try it.
Yes, yes. And
That made more sense. I didn't understand either, like
oh, my
what you meant
apologies, guys.
by the
Thanks for
true
letting me know.
statement. I just was kind of waiting for you to, provide your example. I'm like, oh, okay, so it's just a way of kind of rethinking about what actually happened
Yes,
in that
yes,
instance, and
yes,
maybe stepping outside yourself a little bit, seeing into the other person and their own sack
yes.
of rocks that
Mhm.
led them to do things that made you feel less
Exactly,
than,
exactly.
invisible,
Yeah,
unseen. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I've been for my own, just to share, because this might be supportive. I've been playing a lot with being a burden. Like a lot of my younger parts come online around burden. As I like step into this and like am nomadic and people are offering me spaces and things, there's like a level of like, how do I have my sovereignty and also like stick to my needs while not feeling like a burden? So there's like these different pieces, right? So I would say something like, I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding that I'm a burden, right? The
Hmm.
truth is that and I can even go like, you can even go as far as this because I think this sometimes is really powerful. And you can go back to your childhood part that was like, the truth is, it felt safer to make myself small as a kid. The
Hmm.
truth is, so like that's even like giving kind of this illumination to the safety structure. Like, why did you have that belief? Why did that? Why was that what came through, right?
Hmm.
And the truth of the matter is that was safe for you, and that's okay. And right now, we're rewriting that script. That story doesn't have to exist anymore. That story no longer has to be validated because you're seeing how it actually is different from all the perspectives you just wrote, right? So
Hmm.
so it's really just taking that, and the self-forgiveness piece is what really anchors it because we can do all these questions and this is all very mental, but the self-forgiveness is like really coming back home to yourself and
Hmm.
really seeing like where did it come from and why was it seeded, and can I give myself forgiveness for that, and can I think, wow, thank you so much for keeping me safe, like, wow, I see you, thank you, and now I get to try something else that's different. I get to
Hmm.
try something else on. Mm, good, goody, very good. Oh, one for you, E, that I was also thinking too is, and again, take what resonates, junk the rest. So like make it your own. I forgive myself for buying into the misunderstanding. I wrote it that I am stuck with the pain, sadness, or grief that has been brought up in
Hmm.
me from the dissolving of this friendship.
Hmm.
The truth is, I am learning to make this part of me. The truth is, I am choosing to be with my emotions in a different way to explore what else is there. The truth is, and you just like kind of giving stems. So if that feels in resonance, again, take it or leave it. If it doesn't, junk it at the bucket. Just some thoughts and ideas.
Can you repeat the lessons?
Yeah, of course. So do you want let me make sure. Do you want the whole stem, like I forgive myself as well, or just the truth?
Sorry, my mute doesn't want to shut off.
No
Yeah,
worries.
I'm interested in what you said in terms of the truths. I want to take a look
Okay.
at that.
Yeah, yeah, please. Okay. So the truth is that I'm getting the opportunity to witness these parts now from this pain, right? The truth is I'm creating a new relationship with with my emotions. The truth is I'm choosing to sit with what's arising and lean into it so that I may see what else is there for me.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're so welcome. Doing good, guys. Mhm. And let's actually just take a collective of breath. So, yeah. So taking a deep breath and out. Mhm. One more together, all the way in and out. Good. If tapping feels good or anything in your body, just go ahead and give that to yourself. Yeah. Mhm. Way to do the work, way to show up, way to use your mind and expand it. And I'll give, I know we're at already 10:30, so I'll just give a few minutes if anybody wants to share kind of what came through or what was experienced or has any questions, comments, thoughts. I'm here to totally hold it. So feel free to share if that feels good and also no pressure to share at all.
I think I've been doing all the sharing today, so I'll leave it for others.
Yeah.
I have a thought, a follow-up question to the group. So on the topic of um, making oneself visible, not making oneself small. I'm thinking about like at my place of work, office politics, where, I find myself navigating and I choose when I want to engage and when I'm like, I'm not going to invest my energy in this.
Mhm.
And then those times when I do need to or want to engage, where you're sort of like shifting, and in some ways like I could see myself playing small, being palatable for the other person or the
Mhm.
group in the interaction. And so that continues to be on my mind. It's sort of like it's that tug, that push and pull of like, damn it, I didn't want to say that because I didn't really honor me.
Mhm.
And if I had come through in my full glory, the outcome would have probably been really gone poorly. So it's like, I don't, is that just part of the human experience? And like at home, just to recuperate, you kind of reclaim that, like, I had to do that. It wasn't me, but
Mhm.
I,
Mhm.
I need idea, suggestion.
I have a
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure
comment on
Shannon
that.
has. I was
Yeah.
going to
Go
say,
ahead.
go ahead, E.
No, go ahead, guys.
I just was going to say, I think I think it's having been traveling a lot recently and seeing how everything is different in different contexts. And, we live in a capitalist society and things have a completely different expectation in the US. And I think that in order to survive, financially and otherwise, sometimes we do have to be a little bit of a chameleon. It is really, I did live my true self throughout my work career, and it was exhausting and brutal. And so I think sometimes there actually is a time when you have to be a little bit of a chameleon and sort of take a
Hmm.
step back, particularly in the work area. And so I wonder if it's hard sometimes to devote more time to your personal life, but I wonder if you can be true to yourself in your personal life, and still wear a bit of that chameleon in the workplace. Sometimes it just, I don't know, looking back, it seems like it really has to be because sometimes when you don't do that, when you don't block things, it's going to come back and bite you in the backside.
Scott, do you want to add anything before I share?
I want to let Christine respond to that first.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Yeah, I fully empathize. I'm in that stage of my life where I have been investing my time and attention into what brings me joy outside of work. So I'm like, as far as building boundaries, it's like, okay, I'm working 7 hours a day, clock out, and then I leave work there and then come home. I like to dance.
Mm.
And so I've been building, been connecting with a local dance group, which it's just, again, I find joy. I laugh. And so that's what allows me to be grounded and
Mm,
also to kind of help me get connected with my own body and kind of understand like, okay, this is when I know my body is like protecting me. This is when I know it's releasing and like really relaxed and it is
mm,
a state of peace. So I feel like in this last year, I've really grown in those regards. And just, but yeah, it's just the complexities of navigating, these various identities that we
mm,
carry with ourselves and decide which parts of those identities we feel comfortable sharing with others. So, and
Mhm.
even at work, I will pick and choose. Like there are some colleagues who I trust more than others. And just by sharing with them a little bit of my humanness, outside of work, it has opened up doors and deeper connection with those folks.
Mm.
So that's been nice to explore and discover.
Mm.
So yeah, it's just human beings. We're a lovely mess. We're
mm.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, so you guys may or may not know that I'm a management professor. So I teach strategy, but I also teach organizational behavior. And the first thing that came to mind, Christine, that you were talking about is in the workplace, there's a researcher named Amy Edmondson at Harvard Business School, and she calls it psychological safety.
Mm.
And if you haven't come across that yet, there's a great article about Google, which is not known for its psychological safety, but there's a manager there who tells his story. Basically, he ended up having cancer, and he really wrestled with whether or not to tell his team, and he did. And once he did, it completely transformed his team. Everybody there was like, "Oh, I'm free to actually share what's going on in my life, and it's safe. It's okay for me to be me." And the transformation that he witnessed in his team was staggering. Like it went from being people working together, trying to get shit done, to people who are just living life together. And yeah, we get some stuff done, as well. And you hit it on the head. It's like there are different people at work that make you feel safe, and there are some that make you feel very unsafe. And you're a young woman who should absolutely be on your guard and paying attention to potentially unsafe things. That's like deep in your DNA. You
yeah.
don't ignore that.
Mhm.
So, oh yeah, I had some other thoughts. They've all, just disappeared. But it struck me that like and I guess it's totally adaptive, right? To not share everything that's going on in your head and what you're actually feeling.
Well, yeah, and especially in this day and age, tying it back to capitalism and this grind culture of just like go, 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 success, success, like always going up and always improving and doing things faster and better. And like I think we're at a point now where we're human beings, we're not machines. We can't keep up with that sort of pace. And I know in my
Mm,
workplace, I'm in Seattle, Washington. I work with the Seattle
mm,
Aquarium. We're a nonprofit, so we're very scrappy. Um, So it's already like really hectic and oh my gosh. But now I'm seeing it among my colleagues where their bodies are just like you can see it visually. They're not well. And the body
mm,
and even my body can pick up saying like this is not the best for you. And it's like it doesn't always have to be like go, 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 instant gratification. Like relax, enjoy the moment, savor the moment, like we're coming together and working, accomplishing a goal instead of like, okay, next thing because why do this work? We don't do it for the paycheck. We do it to inspire conservation of our marine environment. And so, but we don't give ourselves even the chance, the time to really savor and enjoy
mm,
those moments of success. So
Mhm.
but it's tough when you're just surrounded by this mindset in our society of
Mhm.
mm,
go, go, profit, 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 more, more, more.
Well,
Mhm.
but
and
Shannon
I think
Shannon said something that fit right in with there's so many people who don't really take a good look at anything until there's a problem. And so a lot of these people are just not even recognizing that there is a problem. They're just trudging forward. And
Mm-hmm.
so good for you for taking a look inside. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be great if we could sort of turn the tides and get people, to look at things more the way you're looking at things. The problem is they're not going to do it until there's significant enough discomfort for them within their own lives, to go that route.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a
Gosh, I
trap.
feel like there's enough stuff going on at the national level right now to create discomfort in everybody's life. But hey, that's for another that's a topic over a beer.
Yeah.
Christine, I remember the other thing I was thinking about, which is um, I as probably like you and Shannon and you guys as well. We are here probably because we are highly sensitive people who are tuned into other people's needs and what they're up to. And for me, I'm 57 and I feel like I am just fucking figuring out that I am an uber people pleaser, and that is like my driving concern. Even as we sit here, my brain is having three conversations about what are they thinking about Scotch? Is he oversharing? Is he sharing too much? Is it, and it's like, okay, fuck off for just a second and let me let me tell my story. And so I actually just started a book club with seven other dudes. We're meeting in a coffee shop on Wednesday mornings, and the book we're reading, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. And if you have not read this book, you need to read that book.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Um,
So, because it is basically, I feel like here, you don't have to read the book. Here's the summary. I'm a professor. I can summarize it for you.
Okay.
You are going to die.
mhm.
Okay, that's number one. Number two, you have a limited number of fucks to give between now and when you die. Do you really want to waste them on people you don't like and who suck up all your energy, or would you really rather put them into people who are nice and kind and people you want to spend time with and enjoy? And it's like,
Makes
yeah,
sense then.
yeah, I'm shocked. You sweet contrarian, you. So I would agree that actually that the book itself is a super simple premise, but what the power with six
Hey,
guys
I'm
sitting around
just
the table,
saying,
but sitting around a table talking about all the stuff that you give a fuck about and the things that you just devote your energy to. I found that it was a very cool conversation, and my I discovered my friends. Um, I don't know why this didn't occur to me. I'm a total nerd. I'm a kind nerd human being, but all of my men friends are also kind nerd human beings, most of whom don't dress particularly well, but they're just super nice people, right? So so they needed it. And it was like, oh, and I sent out a text message on a Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock, and like six of them had responded within 20 minutes. It was like, oh, I think maybe this resonated. So yeah, so maybe it's not the book, maybe it's just the act of getting together and talking about it. So
See, human connection, human
Mhm,
interaction. It's humans coming together to create add like depth
mhm.
to what we're exploring and understanding about ourselves and one another.
Yeah, yeah.
hmm so I went to college in Seattle. I went to Seattle Pacific
Oh,
University there on Queen Anne. I've been to the aquarium a bazillion times, and my granddaughter has been there. It's one of her favorite places on the planet. So thanks
Thank
for thanks for your work.
you. Yeah. Fish nerd. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. May I add to this beautiful conversation? So, Christine, there's a few things that when you were saying it that came up into my mind, and actually, Scott, you named on it, which is really beautiful. Well, first of all, the art of not giving a fuck too. That like kind of brings back into like whose business are you in, right? Whose business are you in? Are you in your business? Are you in their business? Are you in God's business? Like again, like so
hmm
that kind of, and I always like to when I'm feeling angst, I'll like take a pause and check my thoughts for a second and be like, whose business
Mm,
am I in right now? Like and
mhm,
especially with the people pleasing Scott, like that, I feel that
mm,
recovered people pleaser that probably every once in a while sneaks up in
mm,
my
Okay,
field.
but I got a question for you though, Shannon. So
Please.
when you ask that question, whose business am I in? And you go, okay, I'm not in my business, and I'm clearly in this person's business, dang, I can't get out of it. So then where do you go? Where do you go with
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Well, actually, I usually turn to this work and I'll flip it because then that helps me to see it. Or, well, I've been practicing it. So when I first was like on this journey, and I was noticing that, especially in the people pleasing, holy moly, the amount of energy I would give to like hearing everyone's stories, making sure everyone's taken care of. It was easy to just see. And to some degree, like there was sadness that came up over me. Like the first thing that what was coming through was like, I'm sad and my mind wants to keep going there. So let me just be with the sadness because the truth is the emotion is your truth, right? Like a thought always brings on the emotion and we tend to notice the emotion before we notice the thought. But then it's like, "Oh, if I'm feeling the emotion, what was the thought?" And I don't always say go there because it depends on who you are. Are you somebody who's always in mind? Because then I would say just be with the emotion. If you're somebody who is in your emotions, then maybe play with a thought. And for me, it's been just really like, okay, so here's a fun one. If we can play with everything that's being said, even with this whole idea of people at work, capitalism, all the pieces, right? There's this like fear. There's fear mongering that has been perpetuated on a very high level globally. Well, the more I sit with fear, the more I actually am with my own fear. Pardon, meaning being with the sensation in my body of fear then the more that I get to know that fear, the more that when fear before I met her, and she's a her for me, before I met her, she was a stranger. She was something I didn't want her to be even, she didn't even want to look at me. She's like tempted, right? And now we're homies. We sit next to each other on the couch. She tells me what's up. We have a whole conversation. We're homies. And there's a beauty in that because now that part has been fully witnessed and can come to, I have a round table. All of my emotions get to be at my round table. Nobody's discounted at my
mm,
round table. You can be sad, you can have grief, you can have joy, all of them at the same time. I can feel them all at the same time, all of them. And the beauty of that is that then once I meet the parts of me, when something outside of me elicits that, it doesn't cause me to go into reaction anymore, or it doesn't even cause me necessarily to be triggered. Like I don't get triggered by many things anymore. The reason though is because I allowed the triggers to be something that taught me what are the parts that I'm reclaiming? What are the parts of me that I'm
mm,
reclaiming? And so it's this appreciation of, ooh, like I love being emotionally charged now. And I love it simply from the sense of like, ooh, I get to meet a part of myself. I get to walk that part home. I
mm,
get to love that part. I get to be in a relationship with a part of me that I've never known. I'm a full yes to
mm,
that. I'm a full yes. So so it's been like a shift in like how I guess I relate to the world around me. And I relate to my emotions and I relate to the stories. And the more I do that, like the story just it's like once you see the story and you see like, oh, I'm in their business, there's a point where it's like you kind of laugh because it's like, why am I
mm,
putting all this energy into this part? Like that's not even where focus goes, energy flows. What do you want your energy to go towards? What do you want to create in this world? What do you want to plant the seed
mm,
that's going to become your reality? And so the moment I
mm,
can like be in that, and don't get me wrong, when I first started this, that was work. I mean, this is work. The inner work is not like, oh, I'm gonna be with it when it comes on. No, it's like, no, I'm gonna
mm,
be with it every day. I am here to be with this. This is the most important job of my entire life. And because I've made it the most important job of my entire life, it actually allows me to relate to the world differently. And now I don't feel emotionally charged very much. I can see people in compassion and love because I can see the parts of me that were them or the parts of understandings that they're showing me, which is actually just calling me home. Wow, I get to be on a curriculum of the soul and I'm killing it through going through the evolution of meaning. That's hard. It's hard. And it's wonderful. It's beautiful. It alchemizes.
That's
So,
inspiring because I'm reluctant to feel that it can ever be that way. So it's good to hear that
mm.
you've been able to accomplish that. So thank you.
yeah, thanks for asking. Really, truly.
Yeah,
Um,
any progress at all, and I think it's I think there is a tendency among nice people to be too humble and not necessarily to humble brag, but to just be like, yeah, I've been working on it, but I don't expect to ever get there. Or, I'm never gonna, like I'm not that far ahead of you guys. I've done some work, but you're gonna be, it's like, no, fuck that. It's like I've devoted 20 years, like I feel like I started this journey for real last year when I did my first mushroom trip, and I'm like, holy shit, I have a lot of stuff to work on. And I have been. and I have made some progress on some things. Are there some still a whole bunch of things that still piss me off so deeply, that I want to hurt other things in myself? Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. But
Hmm.
I hope that at some point I could, what did you say? I could let them sit at my table and be okay with them there, because there's several of those people that I don't really like at my table right now, and
Ditto,
I'm not
Scott.
welcoming
Ditto.
them. So, and E, may I say that this is like, of all the sessions we've done together over the last few months, seems like you're getting the most out of this. Is that just my perception, or is that true?
I'm reluctant to accept anything as truth until I do a fair amount of yeah, as you've noticed,
Reflection.
I usually have several things going on in my head at one time. So we'll see how that pans out. But thank you for that comment.
You're not alone. You're not alone. I don't think I've heard you laugh before, actually. So
Well,
that's
let's
that's
just
pretty
say
that's pretty
life has been
beautiful.
a bit of a trauma, so
God, yeah, no doubt, right? No, it's I agree. And I think the things that I try to remind myself over and over and over is that everybody looks normal until you get to know them, and everybody's life looks normal until you actually find out about it. Family,
I'm actually reading a piece that I just wrote just 2 nights ago on this. I have to read it at my writer's workshop on Wednesday about how things look and how they are.
Mm,
right?
mm,
Right.
mm.
And social media, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg, has completely fucked us over, right? I mean, like, we didn't do a good enough job before. Now we have visual proof and writing and, you know, all of that to help us out to really create a fantasy of other people's lives. So,
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. And I think that's the beauty also. Actually, one more thing, E, that I'll tie to this because I think this, if it could be useful, I just want to name it. Sometimes when, because man, did I live in my head for a long time. Talk about like my planners had planners for their planners. So the thoughts were wild. And so when I started this work, something that also was really helpful was like noticing that the thought was keep coming up. Like, so I'm focused on this thought, I'm focused on this thought, and it would be like, oh, I see it. So it's like first, like, give you congratulations for the fact that you see it, like you're seeing it. So like congratulate yourself, even if that means, because we don't tend to celebrate, just like you were saying, Christine, we don't celebrate that something just was a success. Well, a success can even be an awareness, like, whoa, I saw the story, I saw the story, beautiful, that's a success. So how can I, like, wow, I saw the story, okay, amazing, like, fuck yeah, I saw the story. And then in that, it's like, okay, now that I'm seeing this story, and then again, you can either do these questions, these turnarounds, or it's like I see I'm in somebody else's. And the moment that I sometimes will see I'm in someone else's or in God's, I'll literally go, not self. It's not self. It's not mine. It's not mine. And just stating that it's not self, I don't have to attach to it. There's nothing I can do about it. In fact, I literally can't change it. And I know that. I know I can't change it. So I release it. I release it. And it's not, and the more you can actually be in the sensation of release, like I am literally releasing it as you can go, just like when you're meditating and you have thoughts and people that are like, there's thoughts all over my meditation and I can't stop thinking. Well, meditation, true meditation doesn't tell you to stop thinking on the thoughts. Your thoughts are coming. That's happening. So you're actually repressing the thing that's happening, right? Resist persists. And so instead of that, it's I notice it, I see the thought, I attach the thought to a cloud, for instance, and just like a cloud that passes in the sky and literally dissolves and changes into other things, it's just passing by. It's not here for me forever. It's just passing by. And the more that we can take those thoughts and attach them literally to a cloud or a piece of paper that's blowing in the wind, whatever feels good in your body, then the more that we start to just be like, oh, that's an interesting leaf that's passing. Oh, that's an interesting cloud. And then it starts to kind of be comical. Like when it comes back, you're like, oh, that's funny. That's funny that I'm thinking that. And what I actually even invite further that is, oh, wow, I'm still thinking about that. Okay, I can honor the part of me that still wants to attach that, even though I'm not attached anymore. So it's like you're slowly creating this nuance of play with it. And through that, as time goes on, like you'll start to notice, and I guess like again, don't listen to me, try it on. You'll start to notice that the thoughts don't actually come anymore about that specific thing. So it's really just playing with that and really like first celebrate yourself for the awareness because that takes everything. And there's so many people who are not aware. Second, after you've been in celebration, can you, instead of stopping the thoughts, can you put thought to something that literally dissolves in its own way? So a cloud, feather in the wind, whatever it means, paper in the wind. Let it be. You're not trying to change it, and you're just watching it just go through. And then that next piece is like if you see it, so maybe some days pass and it comes back up, and then it's just kind of being like, oh, that's sweet. That's sweet that you want me to think about that. I really appreciate that you want me to. And
mm,
that's not myself, so I'm not going to go there. And so it's like you're just slowly
mm,
unwrapping, and it literally will unravel on its own accord.
Mm.
And then one other thing, okay, coming back full circle, I want to make sure I get these little pins out. To Christine, when you were talking about like the work life, so something that is really important and that has really shifted the way that I interact in the world and my clients interact. And there's this level where you are the being, you're the example, you're the example. So first, let's talk on what Scott said because it's important, safety. Who in your workforce do you feel like you said when you do open, there's sometimes this beautiful opportunity where you've gotten closer in relationship. And there's some people it sounds like that you do have really strong relationships with and that probably feel safe. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I hope that there's safety. That's beautiful. So in those, what we want to do is for the parts of us, especially like if you've lived that story because that was your whole life with your dad, right? And now it's, I want to be seen. I know that that's my deeper desire. And yet there's a fear. I feel safer not being seen, whatever that means. And so that play then is taking back our reclaiming that I get to be seen because you deserve to be seen. That is your right as a human to be seen. And so in that understanding, it's also coming through with the understanding that, okay, I, oh, I like you, Scott, I like jumped in two different spaces. I will share being seen with those that I feel safe with now because I know that they can hold my capacity. I have discernment for who can hold me
mm,
in my full sense of being big and me and won't judge me or tell me that I'm wrong or make me feel small again. Because, right, as we're stepping into this, we want to be really thoughtful with who we share the gift of our truth with. Because your truth, your story is a gift. Not everybody gets to have your gift. That's that. So, who are you deciding has the right, because they've cultivated safety, to hear your story, to hear your voice, and then practice it with those people? Practice it with those people. And then if there's parts of you that come back, because as we do this, sometimes parts get loud and they're like, oh, we said the thing. Should we have said that? Is that okay? I don't know. Meet that, meet that. And because they're safe to you, maybe, just maybe, you can even ask them, hey, I'm going through this process of really allowing myself to be seen. So I want to speak what's on my mind without thinking about whether it's received poorly or not. And yet there's a part of me that's coming up
mm,
that feels like I just said that and I'm scared. Would you be able to reflect back what that felt in your body when I shared what I just shared?
mm,
Now you're asking the place that's safe to give you a reflection so you're not in your mind creating a reality that may not exist. And you
Yeah.
get to see it from someone else's reality that now gets to give you something that you get to take in and meet that part that felt scared, that was like, oh, did I say the wrong things? And come and be, hey, I see you. I'm holding you. And
mm,
they just told me that that was the best thing I could have said, that they really appreciated how raw I was and how I didn't think about it.
mm,
And I know that
Mhm.
was scary. And I'm really proud of you for being with me while I stepped into my edge.
mm,
So we're just building these slow moments of relationship with these parts of ourselves,
mm,
right? But first by doing it in safe spaces, specifically with safe people, and then the more we do it, the more we reclaim ourselves. And the more that now you might not think about it in a month or two, saying it in a bigger crowd because you've got you. And even if somebody makes you feel invisible, that's all right. You held your invisibility. You held the pain behind your
mm,
visibility. It don't matter. You here. And so you're being. Now you start to be. Instead of the act of doing to change this, to change the neurochemistry, to change what's coming up in you, you've met it. You've embraced it. Ain't nobody going to take that from you. You know you. You know you, and now you be you. You be you, meaning, yeah, I know I get a little sassy. You be you, and in your being of you, if you're saying
mm,
like you get done with the project and nobody succeeds, just goes right now project. Guess what you get to do, Christine? You get to pause. I'd like to take a pause, and I'd like us all to celebrate this. Maybe it's just with one song. Maybe it's shake your shimmy.
mm,
But you get to be it.
mm,
You get to be it because you've met yourself. And no matter if somebody else is like, oh, why are we doing this thing? This is weird. Don't matter. That person's not in the freaking room, baby. But it's the time of you building the safety within yourself and meeting these understandings and parts so that you can actually be your big self. And it doesn't matter who buys in because you already buy in. You buy
mm.
into you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Woo. Oh my gosh, I'm so charged. Shannon, do you have books or like I feel like I need
I'm
to take
actually writing a book right now. But I do this work. So if you ever want to go deeper, I do this work. And I'm opening up a group container starting in March. So I'll make sure that that information comes out when it's ready.
please. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you
Okay, I
all.
have to confess, I was trying really, really hard to stay with you, but my brain was going in other places as you
Perfect. It's
were. I mean,
okay.
I got the sassy, I got the, I'm not with you, and the person. But the thought that when it occurred to me, I put in the chat there that Kristen Neff is a psychologist. She's a researcher, and
Okay.
she's got a great TED Talk, a number of talks, and then a book that's basically about self-compassion. And you will appreciate this. She's like, I don't really see a difference between self-compassion and other compassion. It's just
Mm.
compassion, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
which
Yes.
I like. But the thing that, and I do something in my classes that I call mental health moments. I started doing it during COVID, and I take like 5 to 7 minutes at the beginning of class to provide something. And so I've shown her video clip, give people a chance to think about it. And the one of the things that she talks about that always resonates with me is that our, for many of us, our internal critic is the most harsh person critic in our lives.
Yes.
And sometimes I don't feel like my thoughts are safe in my own goddamn head, right? Like if I
Mm.
acknowledge that I have this thought of whatever about another person, whether that's a positive feeling or hate or anger, it's like, ooh, that's gonna, like, my inner critic is gonna come, come after me. And if you actually express it out loud to someone like Shannon or Christine or E or someone that you've discovered is safe and is, vibing with you, it's such a tremendous sense of relief when they go, you're okay. You're not completely fucked up. You're okay. And
Mhm.
I've had that feeling, or I understand why you have that feeling.
Mhm.
That's all you need. And then it diffuses it. And then suddenly it's like, oh, you mean I don't have to beat myself up about that like daily for the next 40 years of my life? Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Or Scott, the flip side is we're all completely fucked up, so it's not like you're special or anything.
Mm,
All of us are.
I know. I know. I know. She says that too, actually. That's in the video. Maybe you've read it in the book if you're there. She says that basically we have to remind ourselves that we're just human and everybody fucks up. And like I would never say to you, E, like, God, what a fuck up you are for doing that. But I would say that to myself. I would say, God, Scott, why are you such a moron? Like you've done that 10 times already. How can you embarrass yourself again by doing whatever? This is the nerd's lament, right? Which is I knew better. I should not have revealed myself. I knew they were gonna laugh at me. This is like middle school all over again, right? And yet I hoped somehow that somebody would see me.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we're just human.
Truly. We truly are. We truly are. And to go off of that, to even just like one step further too, Scott, it's like the number one hearing somebody say it huge dissolves 100%. And it's like also that bridge that we create with that part because we know like we're whatever age we are right now, right? We've gone through this process. We understand so much more and we're going to continue. I'm going to be learning until I'm dead, literally. About myself. And that being said, there's this like beauty of when we go back to the part of us that was 6 or 7 or whatever age, it could even be like 18, doesn't have to be young years, that still only understands that lens that it was looking through. And we kind of create that bubble of like, okay, when somebody does say, like, hey, we're all fucked up, it's good, like, we're all here. And like, you're not. And thank you for sharing that. And thank you for allowing me the gift of your story, right? Then in that now it's like, okay, I'm okay. All right, I can dissolves. And it's like, can I go back to that part that maybe didn't feel okay? And can I show it that my now moment is okay? Because it's the bridge of getting that part on board with your now. Because it doesn't know, but you know. So it's playing. All right. Thank you guys so much for the honor of just seeing you, witnessing you, experiencing you. It has been such a pleasure to be with all of you today and to just fully, yeah, I get invigorated by understanding everyone's stories. And so thank you for sharing and sharing your wisdom. I know that, as you go through this process, please let me know if you have any questions and we'll go from there.
Nobody is going to accuse you of having a passion deficit, Shannon, which is a beautiful thing, right? When you can actually express yourself. And I know if you're like me, you have had other people and yourself tell you that you're too much,
Oh,
right?
I love
Too
BS.
big, too
Be
too
too much.
big, right? Too big, too
that.
much, too big, like tone it down a little bit, like fuck that, right? It's like this is me, take it
Exactly.
or leave it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Story of
Exactly.
my life, Scott.
Exactly.
and Christine, thank you for the fine. I love that. I think the version you're looking for is fucked up, insecure,
Oh, is
neurotic,
it?
and
Okay.
emotional. But I appreciate that you sanitized it a little bit there for freaked out, because
I work with
that's
kids, so
I do too, but I work with college students, and I never used to swear in class. I used to be a very straight-laced human being, and pretty much I swear pretty regularly now because it turns out that life deserves some swear words. It's
there you go. There's
It
time and
does.
place for a
yeah,
good fuck.
Yes.
there you go.
Plus, they probably love it. Like, it probably makes them feel more connected to you, to be honest. College kids, oh my goodness.
Totally. It cracks them up. I mean, it just completely cracks them up. When an old white dude just starts like saying what he actually thinks, they're like, oh, yeah. So,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, thank you
mm,
all so, 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 so much. Seriously, my heart is overflowing, just
mm.
overflowing with gratitude.
Thanks for creating a space for us. It's lovely, and it is. And I was going to say that you're not the only one who's gone overtime, and the overtime is the good part, right? This is kind of like when you play soccer, and anybody who's played, you get 90 minutes for the game, but the really interesting part is the added time, the extra
Mhm.
time where the game's tied, everything weighs in the balance, and suddenly every minute feels precious. I think
Mhm.
that's what happens, when we're in added time here. We had 60 minutes, but we didn't get to the good stuff
Mhm.
until, 70, 80, 90 minutes in. So thanks for sticking with us and letting us go there.
Mhm. Mhm. My pleasure and honor. Truly my honor. Yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, you aren't in this.
Where?
Also,
Oh
the
yeah, I know it's the
Korean,
new thing.
right?
I'm not
Yeah,
very
the
good at it,
Korean.
but
I know we're working on it. K-pop Demon Hunters. Have you all watched it yet? Because if you
yes,
haven't, you
I
gotta.
have.
Yeah, right.
yes, super cute, super cute. We're cool. We're hip guys.
Yeah, hippish.
I know.
Hippish. Exactly. Oh, I love it. I
Well,
love it.
if you call yourself hip, you're pretty much
Probably
by
not hip.
definition not
Not
cool,
hip.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, because hip is like one of my words, like that's from the
Ah,
70s, kids.
Yeah.
yes,
But
yes,
they're coming back,
exactly.
which I'm so pleased about. So,
Yeah, full circle, full circle. Oh, I love it.
yep, yep.
I love it. Well, thank
Okay.
you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you all very soon, hopefully. Be well.
Great Sunday.
You have a great
Take
Sunday.
care.
Bye.
Bye.